I think if you're a coach, and you're a good coach, which all of you are, and this is important to them, why wouldn't you help them schedule live on the call? And this is the thing everyone misses. Help them schedule on the call. The only difference is you don't tell them how to schedule. You lead them down the path where they make the breakthrough in their heads and say, I get it. I can do this. I want to come in. Because if you help them make the breakthrough, you're done, right? So the direct way could be, why don't you come in at 6 o'clock? Or go to work at 9 o'clock? Or you could do the indirect route, right? And what would be an example of an indirect way of getting someone, of helping them schedule the time issue on the call with them? Let's try from an empathy point of view. An empathetic point of view, like we were discussing last week, now this is just another tool to add on to that, is first ask them, let's assume you had to come and work out, right? And by the way, it's only for 6 weeks, three times for 6 weeks. Let's just take Monday. Given your Monday, what would be the best time, if you had the ideal day, when would you work out? What would it be, morning? Would it be midday? Would it be evening? Can you see what I'm saying? I'm leading them with a question, right? Say they tell you, hey, if I had the ideal schedule, I only start work at 10 o'clock, so yeah, I could do mornings, right? Or now, when they give you the clue, hey, it's a morning thing, then that's a good conversation to have. Hey, you know what? You know, my other clients are doing this. They ask for an extra half an hour or half an hour less lunch break, because what I'll do is I'll teach you some tools of how to get energy in the lunch rather than taking a full 45 minutes. You can do it in 30 minutes, right? And by the way, you're only doing this for 6 weeks. So empathy is like asking them when, and then that's a great way of positioning, right? What if they're an afternoon person? Like they work early mornings, but when they afternoon and they get tired, but they can see themselves working out in the afternoon. Like how would you get them to kind of connect with you at that level? What would you say then? What strategies and tools would you give them? Number one, you would ask them. What you're doing is you're not telling them like, hey, get off the couch and stop watching TV and let's get down into the damn gym, which I've seen 3 or 4 people do this week, by the way, and I'm shocked about it. But it doesn't matter. It's working for them, right? So good for them. You're not replacing activities. As soon as you start replacing activities, you tell them what not to do, you don't become empathetic anymore, right? See, what I'm doing here is I'm peeling away the onion, because we've got all these layers that we've added onto our sales techniques, and I don't think they're very empathetic. So I'm just trying to show you, strip away that stuff, get down to who you really are, right? And being empathetic in who you really are is saying, they're going to do what they're going to do because they're going to do it. Because the other thing I saw this week that really astounded me was one guy said, you can't afford my services and afford $120 a month, but yet you're ready to go on your vacations, carrying your Louis Vuitton glasses and flying over to Vegas, and you have the cheek to tell me that you can't afford what I do, and what I do is too much. I'm like, really? You really want to work out with a trainer that thinks like that? And this, by the way, you'll see it on Facebook if you go in there, right? That's not empathy, right? So what you're doing is you're helping them schedule. So the first thing you do is you find out what's working for them, what they can see, because now they're seeing themselves working out at a certain time, right? And you're helping them. The second thing is what's going to happen is people are always going to have obstacles as to why they can't do it. So what you're not doing is you're not replacing activities. You're not saying, hey, stop the TV, stop this, stop that. You're finding a gap, right? Number one, you're finding the gap. You're showing them how they can fill the gap. The second most important thing is people will tell you, oh, but I come home and I have to defrost the chicken for 1 hour because I'm having chicken for dinner. Oh, I have to come home and yeah, I can do it between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock, but I am hungry at 6 o'clock. So, you know, I usually have tea and some cookies, and then I'm preparing everyone for dinner, right? By the way, this is how irrationally people think, by the way, right? So what you're trying to do is, when you find that time slot, right, you go into the obstacle. What would prevent you? So you said, now let's assume that day you had, and 5 o'clock you could come and work out. Now, what would prevent you? Just for 3 days this week, and for only for 6 weeks. Remember, we're only doing this for 6 weeks. What will prevent you from coming in at the 5 o'clock? What do you do at the 5 o'clock slot? What's your obstacles? What's preventing you from coming? You see, you're not telling them anything. You're just empathizing with them. And when they tell you, like how you guys are laughing, like I told you, I'm defrosting the chicken, well, the client will see it's so ridiculous. It's like really, I just said that? Right? And they begin to see in their minds, hey, you know what? This thing is doable. That's all you want them to see. Right? And whatever objections you give them, now you can work through them with that. And you say, what if? What if you were to do this earlier? What if you had a shake at 4 o'clock so you don't feel hungry at 5 o'clock so you could come and work out? And I'll give you a recipe to do that, and you'll have more energy before you come and work out at 6 o'clock. So you don't feel tired coming and working out at 6 o'clock. You with me? Can you see how we just went from selling to consultation to breaking challenges on the phone to help them come in? We just went through the detail. Hey, it's time and challenge for you. Understand that. If you had the ideal day, what time would be good for you? Great, in the mornings. What are you doing right now? What are the current obstacles? Are you hungry? I need to do this. Imagine we did these things a little differently. We just did them for 3 or 4 weeks. Will that be an impediment for you to come in? Remember, we're going to help you get that beach body in 6 weeks, as Kristen said, that ultimate vision. People have a hard time scheduling their life. A hard time scheduling their life. I have a hard time scheduling my own life, to be honest, right? And it's always a daily battle of things I need to get done versus I have to do, right? If you can help them schedule and they can see the true professional, game over.